This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome in. I'm Rebecca Smith.
I'm Bill Bryant. Sure is good to have you with us. We have made it to August 1st. Here we are on your Monday morning. And now at 6 a.m. It has been weeks since they were last seen. This morning we'll look at the latest on the search plans for a missing Northern Kentucky couple.
A Laurel County mother will face a judge after police say she tried attacking an officer with a knife in front of her 5-year-old son.
And it's hard to believe, but it is back to school time for some. Coming up, we'll take you live to Frankfort, where kids are preparing for their first day of school.
We have one shower out there early this morning in Menifee and also Bath County. Other than that, we are pretty calm and quiet. However, some storms are on the way. We're going to get into that forecast coming up.
And we'll see you shortly. Let's get to the news. Family members of a missing Northern Kentucky couple are pleading for help at this point.
Yes, police say Crystal Warner and Bobby Jones were murdered last month in Washington County. Their bodies still have not been found. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk with the latest on the search.
Good morning, Rebecca. As those families are searching for the bodies of the missing couple, they are really searching for closure. 25 long days have passed since Bobby Jones and Crystal Warner disappeared. And with each new day, the agonizing search for their bodies grows even more painful. Their families searched for them yesterday, and now they're organizing another large search this weekend. As they prepare to head back out again, they're trying to raise money to cover the cost of gas. They're focusing on searching an area of Winchester, where their couple's car was last seen on the road. Police say Craig Pennington, a man who was renting a house from the couple in Washington County, killed them back in July. A neighbor told police they saw Pennington take their bodies after he shot them. Now, 4 weeks later, their families are still desperately trying to figure out what happened to them.
You can't get your mind off of it, and trying to commit 100% to searching, and then coming home and being a mom to 3 kids who don't know or understand what's going on. It's just, I guess, emotionally exhausting.
The case against Pennington is still making its way through court. He's facing 2 counts of murder. He will be arraigned at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in Washington County. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Today, we could hear testimony in a brutal Lexington murder case. Patrick Jones is accused of killing and dismembering his ex-girlfriend, Haley Bourgeois. The young mother's body was found in dumpsters on Malibu Drive, July 21st. WKYT's Mark Barber will be live in court this morning for Jones' preliminary hearing. You can follow Mark on Twitter for the latest updates on the case. Investigators have identified a man who drowned at a Lexington cemetery. The coroner says Luis Arevalo Jimenez died at UK Hospital. Firefighters say he was walking with his girlfriend yesterday morning when he fell into a pond at the cemetery. Crews say that pond is about 7 feet deep.
A mother accused of taking off with her son while high on drugs is set to face a judge in Laurel County this morning. Jamie Allen is facing several charges, including attempted murder of a police officer. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says Allen first took off with her 5-year-old son early Saturday morning. Deputies found them later that night on Lognau Road. That's when they say Allen threatened them with a knife.
She was highly intoxicated. She began cursing. One of the other guys that was with me ran up to her, and at that point he realized she had a knife in her right hand, and he was yelling, "Drop the knife, drop the knife."
Deputies arrested Allen and another woman who they say helped hide Allen. Social Services has placed the child with his father.
Kentucky State Police investigating a serious crash in Whitley County. Police say 8 people were injured in a crash on US 25 at Kentucky 204. They say 3 people were flown to the hospital. Troopers are still trying to figure out what led up to that crash. Hundreds revved up their engines in memory of a friend who loved working on cars. Matt Darland and 2 others were killed last month when their car crashed into a brick wall. Darland's friends gathered at Anderson Dean Park in Harrodsburg for a car show to raise money for his family. Friends say the fundraiser was fitting for the man gone much too soon.
It was a tragedy, and obviously you can't plan for anything like that. You never want to lose somebody, but losing them that way is even worse, and I know they hadn't planned for anything. Try to help them out as much as we could.
Friends say they were happy with the amount of support they received. The money raised will go into an account for Darland's young son he's left behind.
The time is 6:04 on WKYT this morning. A fight on a beach has landed a Florida man in jail and a Lexington teenager is injured. Police in Treasure Island, Florida say Christopher Corusella got upset that Christian Gies would not stop digging a hole in the sand. Gies' father told a Florida news station that Corusella took the shovel that his son had and hit him with it twice. Gies had some minor injuries. Corusella is charged with aggravated battery. Lexington's newest high school won't be open for another year, but some are already having some ideas about what it should be named.
A former co-worker of a murdered Lexington firefighter wants to see the city's newest high school named in her honor. Brenda Cowan was the first African-American female on the Lexington Fire Department and the first African-American female firefighter in the U.S. to be killed on the job. The Herald Leader says Brad Morris is making a push to name Lexington's new high school after Cowan. The school along Winchester Road is set to open up next fall.
Now, some other name ideas have also been floated. They include honoring abolitionist Frederick Douglass, a nod to Nobel-winning biologist and Lexington native Thomas Hunt Morgan, and also many want to honor pioneering local basketball coach S.T. Roach. So we'll see where they go eventually.
A lot of options. Yeah. Well, it's hard to believe, but another summer has come and gone. Ouch, that hurts for a lot of students across Kentucky.
August 1st, here we are with the majority of Central Kentucky schools, though they don't start back until about August 10th or so, but a handful of schools do start back this week, and some are even heading back this morning. WKYT's Mike Byer joining us live from Frankfort on this first day of school there. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Bill. In just a few hours, that first bell of the new school year will sound off for Frankfort Independent Schools. 2nd Street School, Frankfort High School, and Capital City Prep are all heading back today. These three schools are getting the party started, as many other schools will be starting up in the next few days and weeks to come. Bergen Independent students will start a new school year tomorrow. Estill County schools head back on Wednesday, and on Thursday, Barberville, Jackson, and Mercer County students will head back to the classrooms. Now, many districts, including Fayette County, start next week. That includes the rest of Franklin County schools, who start 1 week from this Thursday. It's hard to believe. Live in Franklin County, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Past 5-day rainfall gauge. Check this out. Marion County coming in at 5.2 inches of rain. Casey County 3.8 inches of rain. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris. And you're looking at these and some of you are probably saying, I had more than that in my backyard rain gauge, and more than likely you did, but these are official readings, okay? So Jackson 3.7, Lincoln 3.4, Rowan County coming in at 3 inches of rain, and Madison close to 3 inches of rain. Lexington was right here around 2 inches to 2.5 officially. So that's past 5-day rainfall. And I show you that because any thunderstorm that rolls over you, sticks over you for a period of time, could cause some problems there on the road. So we just got to be watching out for that. One little cell, this actually rolled through southern Fayette as I was driving off into work on 75. And it's a brief heavy downpour. It's not going to last long. It moves eastbound. Moorhead, you will not get in on the mix. It actually stays just to the south of you. And it rolls across 519 from Moorhead. Work your way down into West Liberty. That 519 corridor, we'll experience that here in about 10 minutes or so. Let me take you hour by hour. Watch this. This is what you want to see, okay? We get in toward noontime, still not much going on. But watch as we hit the afternoon. Bits and pieces spark up here and there. And you can see some of these rumbles of thunder look pretty strong. So we'll need to be watching that. No severe weather expected in terms of, your damaging winds, your tornadic activity, hail. None of that's expected. It's more of just your isolated, a spot here or there that could cause some flooding. And that's really what we're watching, paying attention to today. So no widespread weather for us today. You can see a lot of us are actually dry. There's 4 p.m. Let's take you off into the next few hours. 8 p.m. And now you're seeing that down toward the Cumberland region, 68 corridor, 150 as you roll through, say, Boyle County and Washington County. And so that's another spot. Look at everybody else. Yeah, pretty dry. So it's just that hit and miss shower thunderstorm activity we're going to be watching. Tomorrow morning, waking up with a few rumbles of thunder, but tomorrow afternoon really isn't all that bad. We actually stay in the mid to upper 80s, and it's going to be pretty humid. I promise you that. Let's check out your 7-day forecast. Here's your look. 85 for today. Trying to make plans the rest of the work week off into your weekend for those kids because they go back to school. Most of them go back to school next week. If you're trying to make plans, I would say stick to the plans. Know this, though, there is that possibility of a hit thunderstorm and also the possibility of it missing you. That's just been the case. I mean, this weekend, most of us actually stayed dry, but some of us got into some brief heavy downpours, and it's caused some problems the past few days with those saturated grounds. So we got to be watching that pretty close.
Okay, we'll keep a watch on it through the day. We thank you, Micah. 6:10 here in a couple of seconds on WKYT.
Well, each morning we bring you weather and traffic. Here's Officer Don now with a look at what's happening out on the roads. Happy Monday.
Hey, happy Monday. Well, no wrecks right now. That's the great news. On the inner outer loops of the circle, just normal traffic to deal with. Same deal inbound Richmond Road at the circle. One click of the light to get through that intersection. As far as getting a look outside, we can see our overall traffic flow. Things are moving okay. Coming in from Nicholasville past Man of War, also on 75 north and southbound. Drive times this morning should be holding our own with no significant issues or delays to deal with as we plan the ride in from Frankfort, Georgetown, even Richmond. You're 13 minutes from Nicholasville, 16 from Georgetown, and about 26 minutes coming in from Winchester. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, everything looking pretty good so far. Thank you, Don. And, of course, you can join Officer Don and Deanne over there on 98.1 The Bull when you get in your car. A lot more news coming up on WKYT on your Monday morning.
Cleanup continues this morning after floodwaters claimed 2 lives in Maryland. We'll have a look at the areas that were hit hardest when we come back.
Welcome back. WKYT this morning on the air on your Monday, August 1st. Here we are, huh?
Yeah, we are here.
We're rolling toward 6:15 this morning. Less than 100 days until the elections. The 2016 presidential candidates and their running mates are now crisscrossing the country.
With the campaign in full swing, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump faces some new criticism for what some are calling an attack on the parents of a Muslim American soldier who died in Iraq. Hannah Daniels has the latest.
Republican vice presidential nominee Mike Pence sought to diffuse the conflict between Donald Trump and the Muslim soldier's parents Sunday night. In a statement, Pence said that both he and Trump believe Humayun Khan is, quote, an American hero, adding that his family should be cherished by every American. The comment did little to extinguish the firestorm sparked after Trump bashed Khizr Khan for criticizing him in a speech at the Democratic National Convention, leveling this attack at his wife.
If you look at his wife, she was standing there. She had nothing to say. Maybe she wasn't allowed to have anything to say.
The slain soldier's mother responded to Trump in an op-ed for the Washington Post, writing, quote, without saying a thing, all the world, all America felt my pain. Appearing on CNN, her husband was less diplomatic.
He is a black soul, and this is totally unfit for the leadership of this beautiful country.
House Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell released separate statements Sunday condemning Trump without mentioning him by name. Speaking at a church in Cleveland, Hillary Clinton called him out directly.
Mr. Khan paid the ultimate sacrifice in his family, didn't he? And what has he heard from Donald Trump? Nothing but insults.
Clinton now holds a slight lead over Trump in 11 key battleground states following her party's convention. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
Well, Trump campaigns in 2 of those battleground states today, and those are Ohio as well as Pennsylvania, while Clinton rallies support in Nebraska.
Kentucky U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell released a statement on Captain Khan saying, quote, Captain Khan was an American hero, and like all Americans, I'm grateful for the sacrifices that selfless young men like Captain Khan and their families have made in the war on terror. Senator McConnell goes on to say, quote, I agree with the Khans and families across the country that a travel ban on all members of a religion is simply contrary to American values.
Federal investigators are searching for clues following the worst hot air balloon disaster in U.S. history. 16 people died in Texas Saturday when the balloon apparently hit a power line before bursting into flames and plummeting to the ground. Investigators plan to meet with the balloon's ground crew today. Authorities in Maryland are assessing the damage after deadly flash flooding took the lives of 2 people over the weekend. One of the worst places hit was Ellicott City, where more than 6 inches of rain fell in just 2 hours Saturday. The floodwaters swept away hundreds of cars, tore up sidewalks, and wrecked storefronts. Many folks there say it's been a heartbreaking past couple of days.
There aren't words to describe it. People are calling me, telling me they've seen the pictures on Twitter and all that, and it's just, you can't even fathom how bad it is in person relative to those pictures.
Maryland's governors declared a state of emergency in that area.
The time this morning is 6:18 here on WKYT. Microsoft is cutting 4% of its workforce. That's about 4,700 jobs around the world. More than a third of those will be from its smartphone business, many of them former workers at Nokia, which Microsoft bought out 2 years ago. With airfares at record lows, don't wait to book that next trip. A survey of 2,000 baby boomers found that one of their biggest regrets is not traveling enough. The census-wide survey was commissioned by British Airways, but it confirms what other research has found. Older people often regret not traveling more when they could have. Also, Instagram is making some changes to help reduce online harassment. Users will be able to filter comments on their post or turn off comments completely. High-profile accounts will be the first to get those new features. So there you go, some changes now at Instagram.
Interesting. WKYT This Morning is just getting started. Thanks for starting your Monday off with us. A daring rescue unfolded after an intense crash was captured on a Florida business's security camera. Look at that wipeout. That story next.
Wow, that was some video right there. Listen, showers, thunderstorms are possible again today and again today. Not everybody will see the rain. Some will not. I'll show you where I expect the best chance coming up next.
Well, they've been missing for weeks, and this morning, family members of a northern Kentucky couple are pleading for help.
And that's what is trending at this hour on WKYT This Morning. Crystal Warner and Bobby Jones were last seen July 3rd at a home in Washington County. Friends and family have searched several areas around the state, but recently they have focused their search in the Winchester area. That's where the couple's car was last seen driving around. The family says they will be holding another large search this coming weekend.
A majority of Central Kentucky schools don't start back up until August 10th, but it's the first day of school for kids at Frankfort Independent. A handful of others will continue classes later this week. You can find a full list of school starting dates and Central and Eastern Kentucky dates as well on WKYT.com.
This and that in our weather. We expect it to be a mostly nice day, but we could get some downpours. Here's meteorologist Micah Harris.
That's exactly right. And you know what? That seems to have been the toss the past, week is just most of us could see mainly dry conditions. Most of us, though, most of us stay in mainly dry conditions, but some of us seeing those heavy downpours. That's going to be the talk not only the past 4 to 5 days, but now the next 4 to 5 days as most of us stay dry, though. Okay, let's look at Jackson. Some lower lying valley fog, that's pretty much usual. Moorhead, still some fog out toward Rowan County, as it did have a passing shower just to the south of you just a few minutes ago. E-Town looks pretty good. Florence, not too bad. Frankfort, not seeing any problems whatsoever. And we do have a couple of showers just south of Moorhead at this moment, south of Lakeview Heights across Highway 60, not really seeing much at this moment. It's really that 519 corridor that we're about to pick up on some heavy downpours. Right at that Rowan County, and then work your way down into the Morgan County and Menifee County line. That's the area. But we get into the afternoon, guys, it's going to be a better shot at some thunderstorms. Still hit and miss, though. I'm going to show you who I expect to be hit coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Thank you, Micah.
An unbelievable crash followed by a daring rescue were both captured by a Florida business's surveillance camera over the weekend.
Take a look at this dramatic video. Instantly, you see this car appear out of nowhere as it rolls violently several times. The footage also shows frightened bystanders rushing toward the wreck, trying to check and save the driver's life moments later.
People came over with fire extinguishers, put out the fire. We flipped the car back over, pulled the guy out so he didn't burn alive.
I start pulling him out, and another guy, probably about my age, helps me. We pull him out of the car.
And then cops and paramedics did their job and they took over the rest, really.
The driver was taken to a hospital by helicopter. Emergency officials say he sustained head trauma when his car careened a few hundred yards. No one else was injured in the crash. Bystanders said they were just thankful that many were quick to try and save the driver following that crash, at least getting him out of there before the fire.
Yeah. Really, really dramatic video there. Well, stay with us. When we return this morning, hundreds of Harry Potter fans lined up to get their hands on the newest book over the weekend, and you know they are a dedicated bunch. A look at a couple who came straight from their wedding to get a copy.
That's coming up at 6:30, and all of our top stories are on the way. And tomorrow's Mega Millions is $25 million. Wednesday's Powerball is $40 million. Yeah, it was hit by somebody in New Hampshire over the weekend. We're back on WKYT in a moment.